News 6 is hitting the road again.
We are at Lake Eola Park in beautiful downtown Orlando.
This time to the 32801 zip code.
This is from that time period when Orlando was trying to vote for it to be the county seat.
Focusing on the stories you told us you wanted us to cover.
I felt very invisible and I felt very helpless.
And getting results for downtown Orlando. And welcome to WKMG Hits the Road on News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus. I'm Lisa Bell, in for Ginger Gadsden tonight.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. Happy 4th of July. Hope you're enjoying the day. We are live at Lake Eola Park in downtown Orlando. That is the heart of the 32801 zip code. We're going to be bringing you all the excitement for fireworks at the fountain with views all over Lake Eola Park. This is a live look now at a pretty wet Lake Eola Park. What needs work in downtown Orlando, though, and what's getting results as well? I got to see how a new high-rise is trying something pretty unique to help people find a more affordable place to stay.
It provides such an affordable way to live downtown and still have access to all these massive amenities.
It just drew my attention. I knew this was the place to be.
I got to see for myself how it's renting out some units by the bedroom instead of by apartment. How they're doing all of this while keeping tenants safe, that's also coming up. But we are inside the Metropolitan Building because we're dealing with a little bit of rain out there, some thunder and lightning as well.
That's right. It got a little interesting out there, but the good news is it has cooled things off for people here in downtown Orlando. We had a couple of rounds of rain that sent us grabbing our umbrellas, and eventually we had to go inside when we started hearing that thunder and the lightning outside as we take a look at some of the rain that hit downtown Orlando this afternoon. Jonathan Kagas is standing by, tracking those showers for us. We know that there are so many festivities happening tonight. How are things looking right now, Jonathan?
It depends upon where you are, but I'm cautiously optimistic for all of Central Florida. But by the time fireworks get going, we're going to be pretty good. Have you zoomed in toward Lake Eola Park? We just have a couple of leftover showers, but I am optimistic that you'll be able to get the set back outside for the special as everything is now pushing off to the south of downtown Orlando into Oak Ridge. We still have a few light to moderate rain showers going on. No lightning associated with that one. We bring the lightning back, though, closer to Lake Toho, south of Kissimmee, right along St. Cloud on 192 there. So it's some very, very heavy rain if you're planning on hopping on the turnpike going south toward Kenansville or Miami, Yeehaw Junction. Not in that order, of course, but nonetheless, if you're going south on the turnpike, you're going to run into that very heavy downpour that's out there. A lot of thunder and lightning. Well, the winner of the thunder and lightning right now is certainly Marion County. For us in around Ocala, especially Bellevue, this is pushing to the south and to the east, right around Ocala National Forest and drifting toward us in the villages. We have the very, very heavy rain ongoing right now. That is extending into Leesburg. We have a new cell that has popped up just to the west of us in Claremont. Again, all of this is moving from the north to the south tonight. Cautiously optimistic again that by fireworks, most, if not all of us, are going to be cleared out from all this stuff. We're going to talk much more about that, guys, coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. And we do want to get to News 6's Troy Campbell. He has more on what we can expect from the fireworks at the Fountain Show.
And he's also talking security for, of course, one of downtown Orlando's biggest events.
Yeah, here along Lake Eola, the crowd's not as large as typical because of the weather, but once it clears, it is expected to get pretty crowded. If you look, you can see there is one family braving the weather with their tent. Once it gets crowded later, they're going to definitely be thankful they'll have that spot. There are others walking around ponchos, umbrellas. If you do get out here early, there are vendors, food vendors, lemonade, hot dogs, ices. Orlando police say if you come out here, stay safe, be vigilant, follow all the laws to make sure that this event can be a safe one.
Be aware of your surroundings. Know where you're at in the park. If you're by the playground, if you're by the band shell, know all that. So if you have to call for assistance, you know exactly where you are so we can get there quickly for you. As far as safety goes, we encourage you not to bring guns or knives out here. We know there's state laws that protect you and you have rights to carry those things, but you don't need them out here. We have a lot of officers out here to keep you safe. So just think about what you're bringing out here and being safe.
If you plan to head out here, make sure you give yourself plenty of time because police also do have detours all around Lake Eola. And of course, the big show set to begin just after 9 o'clock. Along Lake Eola, Troy Campbell, Getting Results News 6.
All right, Troy, thank you. And the crowds just keep on getting bigger here at Lake Eola Park as we get closer to the actual fireworks.
Yeah, News 6's Darrell Baker got to speak with the man in charge of tonight's spectacular show.
Hey everybody, we are here sheltering from the rain. As you can see, the fun has stopped just a little bit, but before then several people were enjoying games. They had a bubble machine and they also had so much more. They had kickball, basketball, and everything else that a child can find fun, and also some of the big children out there who enjoy those games as well. I spoke with a family who was visiting from North Carolina, and they say that they were looking for a place to celebrate the 4th of July, and they think they found the right spot.
To feel welcome, right? And I think Central Floridians are really good at making you feel welcome. So being here and being hosted by the kind people from this neighborhood, from this area, it makes it worth coming back again and again and again.
All right, so hopefully this rain doesn't last for long. Even still, you want to come out here, get your spot. And also, they're going to be having those fireworks later at 9 p.m. right here at Lake Eola. Here in Orlando, Darrell Baker getting results, News 6.
All right, Darrell, thank you. And again, the fireworks show itself kicks off at 9 o'clock, but tune in starting at 8 for our City of Heroes special happening here on News 6 Plus, on air at WKMG and online at clickorlando.com. So every time we take News 6 on the road, one of the best things is, and what we all look forward to the most, is meeting you, the viewer at home.
That's right. And today I had the chance to ask a lot of people the same question. What do you love about living in 32801?
It's a walkable community, so all the local restaurants, all the local flavors and everything we get down here. So, I mean, it's nice to have like walkable parts of Orlando that aren't I-4 based.
This is so fun. They got a lot of things make people happy and make people love each other.
Downtown Orlando has a variety of people, culture, art, you name it.
And we have visitors from Japan here too. All the way from Japan to enjoy 4th of July in Orlando.
Nice.
How can you beat that?
Yes. That's right. And I also met one man who's lived and worked in downtown Orlando for decades, and he, though, sees one troubling trend.
I've lived here for like 37 years. I used to cook down here. It's just the atmosphere. Yeah. It's growing so much that that's the only bad thing. It's starting to grow too much where the businesses are starting to suffer.
And it's probably not much of a surprise that 32801 zip code is seeing a population boom while affordable housing shrinks.
Yeah, according to the city, another $1.5 billion worth of residential developments are in the works. So I asked how much of that will be dedicated to affordable housing. The answer I got is not a whole lot, but the average rent in downtown Orlando right now is around $2,000 a month. That's according to rentcafe.com. Of course, that's a number that is so out of reach for a lot of folks, but I learned one building that just opened is taking a different approach to lowering the rent for some of its units. A growing city with a changing skyline as new high-rise apartments take shape in downtown Orlando. The latest to open, Society Orlando, a 27-story, 464-unit building across from the courthouse on Orange Avenue. Brandon Bergler was one of the first to move in.
I've always wanted to be downtown, but I never really found the right building or right location. And driving by on I-4 and seeing this place as it was being, elevated up, I just drew my attention. I knew this was the place to be.
From its state-of-the-art fitness area to its massive pool, the largest in downtown Orlando, Society checks a lot of boxes, but it also offers something truly unique. On top of its traditional market-rate studio, 1 and 2 bedroom units, they have a rent-by-bedroom option starting at just $1,250 a month. Gabrielle Timpson is one of the leasing associates.
It provides such an affordable way to live downtown and still have access to all these massive amenities.
And it's fully furnished.
Fully furnished. And we also provide a free cleaning service, so they get the free cleaning in the living and common areas every other week.
Each rent-by-bedroom apartment comes with its own bathroom. The kitchen and living room are shared.
All right, so we're in a rent-by-bedroom unit now, and this one's 3-bed.
3-bed. Yeah.
So this is an important, explain to me how this sort of works, because I'm looking at this QR code here that sticks out.
Yeah, so basically every key is going to have a key fob. The key fob will open the main door to the apartment, and each individual door has its own corresponding lock. So anytime it closes, it locks behind them, so you don't have to worry about like your roommates or neighbors getting into your room. So we try to make it very secure, very private.
There are more than 21,000 people who live in downtown Orlando today, a 57% increase since 2010. The residential growth is intentional as the city looks to transform the corridor into more of a neighborhood, something Bergler is already noticing.
I think that over the past year, we've started to see the change. I still think we're a few years out from where I think a lot of us want to be. But I definitely think within the next 5 years to 6 years, this place is going to be unrecognizable.
What we're working to create is an environment that everyone feels that they have something for them.
David Barilla, executive director of Downtown's Development Board, said adding affordable housing is another key piece of downtown's future. One affordable development is planned for this site along Amelia Street. The Beacon at Creative Village will offer 106 units for low-income renters. And about 2 miles away, near the Star Tower on Mariposa Street, another 138 affordable units are in the works exclusively for seniors.
And we're continuing to work with developers as more interest in living in downtown continues to take shape.
And of course, one of the most well-known developments that's in the pipeline is Westcourt. And it has a new name, but everyone knows about the Sports and Entertainment District that's happening near Kia Center. And part of that project includes a 270-unit residential tower that will have 10 of those units be considered attainable housing. So not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot at all.
But there are a few projects in the works to maybe help out.
All right, Justin, thank you. There is more to downtown Orlando than high-rises and bars. We've discovered some hidden gems along the way.
We have, and ahead on News 6 at 6:30, where you can find history that stretches a century before Disney. Insider guide Crystal Boyer will take us there up next.
This is the community that we live in and that we work in, and it's all about how do we best serve and help the community.
The Secret Service doesn't just protect the president. They have a hub in downtown Orlando, how they get results for people in Central Florida. And we'll hear from viewers like you coming up.
What makes you love downtown Orlando?
I love the whole scenery, the city lights.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Lake Buena Vista, Altamont Springs, and all of Central Florida. Stay with us. We're back in a few.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to News 6 at 6:30. We have hit the road to downtown Orlando, coming to you live from a Lake Eola Park where things are drying out. I just peeked outside the window here at the Metropolitan Building near Lake Eola, and I see some folks in the pool, Lisa.
Yes.
So that is reassuring. And obviously it doesn't take a fireworks show to draw folks to downtown.
So much is happening in downtown Orlando. News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer shows us around some highlights you may have missed.
WKMG is once again hitting the road. This time we are in the 32801 zip code. Here's a little hint about where we are. Downtown Orlando. I'm your News 6 anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer, and I've got your guide to the city, starting with Luminary Green Park. This is at the corner of Amelia Street and Terry Avenue. It's about 3 acres of gathering space with plenty of room on the lawn with some seating as well. At night, these projectors light up the area with vibrant colors. When you think of downtown Orlando, the most recognizable spots are the Kia Center that hosts concerts and magic games, Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts, and Lake Eola with the bandshell and iconic swan boats. You may have even spotted News 6 reporter Mark Lehman pedaling away with photographer Goose. But there's much more to the 32801, including the Orange County Regional History Center, housed in a historic courthouse. It's got a 5-story museum open to the public with exhibits highlighting the area's past dating back 2,000 years. And inside the museum, you could check out one of the original clock faces from the old courthouse in the late 1800s. And if you look closely, you could see some of the graffiti that was written from the inside. The Breckner Research Center houses thousands of local artifacts like books and documents authenticated and preserved by archivists like Katie Mara.
All the notes in here were done between the 1880s and 1890s. And if you open it, this is very fragile. You can see where the courthouse is located. This is from that time period when Orlando was trying to vote for it to be the county seat. So this is a ballot from that particular election.
Speaking of history, downtown Orlando has landmarks like the Angevelt Hotel and Beecham Theater that opened in the early 1920s. News 6 digital photojournalist Jacob Langston went underground, exploring the local lore of a secret tunnel connecting the two. Legend has it the tunnel was used by vaudeville performers to escape the crowds during a show. Downtown Orlando is also known for its nightlife, with unique restaurants and bars like the One Up video game-themed bar, the owners creating a replica of Barbie's iconic Malibu Dream House on the 2nd floor. On the next level, there's High Tea, a whimsical bar that will transport you to a different world. You can check out our guide to the 32801 on clickorlando.com/insider. In Orlando, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results, News 6.
And here's one more thing you may not know. Downtown is a major hub for the Secret Service.
News 6 Schemes and Ripoffs producer Robert Brewer shows us how they're getting results for people right here in Central Florida.
I'm here with Caroline O'Brien Buster, Special Agent in charge of the United States Secret Service Orlando Field Office. And we have done many stories with you since 2020.
Money mules,
Bitcoin ATMs,
bank account takeovers,
open Wi-Fi's,
illegal skimmers, gas pump manipulators.
The one story we haven't done is just what does your team do on a daily basis to protect and serve the community of Orlando and Central Florida and beyond?
We do a lot. It's usually quiet on the weekends, but Monday when we go through our voicemail or all of our messages, it's usually a BEC, usually a romance scam, maybe a threat to one of our protectees.
Speaking of protectees, everyone knows the Secret Service as the people that protect the president. And then they're like, why does Orlando have a field office? The president's not here. Well, how do you answer that question?
Right, well, because we're a dual mission agency. So we have the protection of the president, vice president, former presidents, first family, and then we're tasked with the protection of the financial infrastructure.
And the financial fallout can be staggering. In 2023, the FTC reports Americans lost $10 billion to various layers of fraud, ranging from investment scams to bank imposters. O'Brien Buster says to many victims, that money represents everything they have.
You could have an 84-year-old man that just lost $240,000. There's not enough time in life to make that money back. So then what happens to that person? I mean, is that person going to end up on the street? Does that person have family? What's going to happen? And that's what our agents, our people think about when they're dealing with each individual victim.
The Orlando Field Office Task Force is assigned to 7 counties from Orange to Brevard. The Secret Service working with law enforcement agencies from all of those counties.
We could not do what we do without local law enforcement. We couldn't.
Last year, the office was ranked number 3 in the nation for recovering stolen funds and property.
This is the community that we live in and that we work in, and it's all about how do we best serve and help the community.
In Orlando, Robert Brewer, Getting Results, News 6.
Yeah, they talk about crimes a lot, but then when you think about the victims and they deal with those victims day in and day out, that really does, you have to imagine, take an emotional toll on all of those agents when you think of someone who's 84 and just lost that much money.
And anytime we do a story on someone who has fallen victim to that, it breaks your heart, but so many more that we don't know that they do and they work with on a daily basis. So if you know someone who's out there, if you're a victim yourself of a financial crime, you can call the Secret Service office in Orlando directly. Pretty easy. We put that contact information on our website. Just go to clickorlando.com.
All right, coming up, if you were just joining us, News 6 has hit the road to downtown Orlando for the 4th of July, and we are asking viewers why they picked Lake Eola to celebrate Independence Day.
Oh, it's so beautiful, the swans, and you ride the little swan boats and walk around the lake and get to meet nice people. There's nice people to meet, and it's just peaceful and nice. Quiet out here.
There were so many places to go today. In Orlando, in Florida, Kissimmee, but I had to come to the park because I figure it's going to be the biggest display of fireworks.
Well, he's not wrong. And if you're not with us for fireworks at the fountain in downtown Orlando, consider checking this out. This is a drone show that's happening in Ocala tonight. City leaders won't tell us exactly what's in store, but the company that's running the show gave us this video from some of its other productions. Pretty impressive. The show is set for 9:30 at Tuscaloosa Park, part of a night of fun that is set to kick off. It did kick off at 5, so it's been happening out there in Ocala. Still time to get out there, and hopefully the weather's okay in Ocala and elsewhere.
That's right. The fireworks here at Lake Eola are set for just after 9 o'clock tonight. Of course, we will be bringing them to you live on News 6, Click Orlando, News 6 Plus, everywhere.
I know things have cleared up here.
Yes.
So let's get over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas now, pinpointing where the rain is still on the radar right now, Jonathan.
And we're still watching it for Ocala right now, and I'm optimistic, cautiously anyway, that we get rid of that for the drone show tonight. Here we go, nice and clear in Orlando, Altamont Springs, Sanford along the beaches. Certainly, we were talking about you guys yesterday that you'd be mainly dry today. Taking it closer in, though, into Lake and Marion County, even parts of Sumter, Wildwood, the Villages, good evening into Leesburg. Some very heavy rain here in the darker reds. Look at all the lightning strikes still around Bellevue, east of Ocala now. At least the rain is letting up a little bit for us in Ocala. Here's that cell we took a look at about 10 minutes ago, still hanging tight in southern Sumter County. It's diving south of Mascot into Claremont. Again, we should be on the drier side, at least from that guy. But if we take another look again, that cell we've been pinpointing for you in Marion County and parts of Sumter and Lake, that is going to continue to drive south into southern Lake County. We're going to go check up on our thunderstorms that we had in parts of Osceola County as well. St. Cloud, good evening. We still have some rocking storms around. Nothing strong, nothing severe out there, but some very heavy rain, gusty winds, lots of lightning, a few little pop-up storms just to the west of us in Kissimmee, closer to Point Siena and Celebration as well, getting on the wet side. So we're going to be watching that now for the next couple of hours. Now here's a look at your Pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
As we get into that 8-9 o'clock hour, you see we're still dealing with a few residual showers and thunderstorms, but those will gradually continue to push to the west towards the Gulf Coast of Florida. There we go at 8 o'clock on your Friday morning. Palm Bay into Rockledge, Mico, we're looking dry. Pretty much all of Central Florida is going to be on the drier side at that point. And then watch what happens again. We were talking about this over the last few days, that the East Coast sea breeze, that is this guy here, bubbling up with the heating of the day just inland of I-95, just to the west of I-95. That gets going and then moves inland. So we're still going to be on the drier side along the beaches tomorrow. And then things get rocking from about the Orlando-Kissimmee area. And then for us along I-75 from Ocala into the Villages again. So that's what we are going to be watching for tomorrow as well. Here's a live look in Daytona Beach with our Daytona Toyota, DeLand Kia Skycam. We're back to the upper 80s. The breeze is out of the east at about 9 miles an hour. It feels like 102 out there. The humidity is cranked up. There are a lot of people at the beaches. Just be careful if you're heading into the water. That rip current risk is still through the roof, so just keep that in mind. Lots of danger out there. 84 degrees in Claremont right now. We're at 80 thanks to that rain cooling thunderstorm out there. 91 in Titusville right now. We're at 88 degrees in Cape Canaveral. Tomorrow, another hot one, is 'tis the season for that. Mid to upper 90s for us inland, and then right around 90 degrees along the coast for tomorrow. Now here's a look at your Pinpoint accurate 7-day forecast. Again, the heat index tomorrow, that's when you combine the humidity. Again, it's a real number, and it really starts to impact you when that humidity gets cranked up like what we saw today. So just make sure you're taking it easy. You know the drill. 40% shot for storms Saturday into Sunday. We're back to the mid-90s through the next week as well, with a 40% chance for rain on Tuesday. Here's a look in downtown Orlando, Lake Eola. We'll have more coming up.
Welcome back to News 6 at 6:30, coming to you live from Lake Eola Park. Here's a live look at Lake Eola, where the skies have finally cleared after we got some rain and some thunder showers in here. But things are looking good, and I'm really looking forward to 9:10 this evening.
That's
when they set
right.
those fireworks on.
Is that some blue sky in that
I
shot?
think
It's hard
so.
to tell because there's still some raindrops on the lens there. But things are looking much better outside. And, of course, one of the best things that happens when we hit the road is meeting our viewers in person.
News 6, helping people, giving people everything gonna happen. They'll let you know before you go out to your house. If your TV on, you know what's going on out in the world.
You guys keep it real. You bring the important stuff to us. It's not the runaround or little sound bites. You actually do the digging, and you bring the things that mean something to our table.
I love News 6 because I grew up watching News 6. They give me all the news that I need.
Yeah, he was very excited. He was like, oh my gosh, I want to go back and say hi to everybody. We could be on the news.
And there you go. Now you're going to be on the news.
Awesome.
It was really nice. And, of course, we met a lot of people who live in the 32801 zip code, but also people who are watching and have come to all of our Hits the Road stops and wanted to be here today and stick around for our fireworks tonight. And, of course, our day in downtown Orlando continues starting at 8 o'clock tonight. We will begin our coverage of fireworks at the fountain, celebrating a city of heroes, brought to you by Dan Newland Injury Attorneys.
Hope you have a great 4th of July. Take care.